Alright, you guys, we're going to be checking out one of Grand Thumb's videos, which was something I haven't done yet, which is pretty cool. So I might be starting a new playlist on this. So we'll see.
Thumb. Oh, are we going? Oh, sorry.
All right.
Did you?
That's it. We're not. No, stop. We're not restarting.
What?
That's what you get, dude.
Okay. Ready? Yep. Today on Grand Thumb, we are in the kingdom of Rohan. We have our Gondorian Ranger here, and we're going to be talking about...
Who was Gondor in the West Wolf?
We're going to be talking about what does it sound like to get shot at by a 50 cal. But to put some perspective on that, we're going to be getting shot at by many different rounds at many different ranges so that you, the viewer, can understand what that is going to sound like.
So you don't have to
get shot. Exactly, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Now, there's a question of safety.
Safety.
Between us and the shooter, we have approximately 400 yards of dirt. That's many million cubic feet of dirt. To be able to shoot
how much is that in Minecraft? How many blocks?
That's at least 10,000 blocks. Wow. To be able to shoot through it would take probably about 15 generations and billions of rounds, and then it would rain and just fill back in. So we are completely safe, and we are completely protected where we are. Now, there are many different reasons why you should know what it sounds like to be shot at. A couple of those reasons, of course, is for your LARPing needs and many other things, but it's good to be able to get used to that noise to understand what it sounds like in a nice controlled environment, such as this YouTube video right here. So, without further ado, what does it sound like to get shot at by a 50 cal? But before we get into that, sponsors. The biggest sponsor of the channel is the Sonoran Desert Institute. If you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, they are the people to go to. We can't thank them enough. Of course, we can't LARP super hard. It can fit tons of magazines, 8 magazines. You have the scent pouch. You fit candy, towels. What's that towel for?
Don't worry about it.
All right, you can uncompose. Ladies and gentlemen, I often forgotten, but most certainly not by me,
Jimmy Changas.
Welcome to the channel. Let's get into it. Now, we're going to start off at about 230 yards with 3 different weapons. The weapon is going to be a Glock 17 firing 124 grain NATO 9mm ammunition. After that, we'll be firing the 45-70 from Henry. That is a giant round, if you want to show that. And then we'll be showing the M203 with a 40mm. The chalk round does make the exact same sound that an HEVP round would make, which is a high explosive dual purpose round. We'll be firing many rounds from each of these in order to hear what they sound like as we are in defilade. The rounds will be going overhead. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today we're going down to the berm with Charlie. Charlie, what do you think about getting some rounds overhead?
I think it's gonna be great. It's way too cold.
What's your experience with this, Charlie?
Oh, my experience. I served a lot of time, not necessarily in the military. I have received discounts.
Okay, we're gonna get this started.
Bravo 1, Alpha 1.
Alpha 1, Bravo 1.
We are set up and we are in defilade.
Firing.
All right, Glock 17. Go 5 rounds.
That's a familiar sound. That's a pucker factor sound. Oh no.
Perfect. Why don't you go ahead and depress elevation, give us another 5.
Roger. Depress elevation. Firing. Rapidly, we are Winchester.
Terrifying.
Loading another mag.
Copy y'all, we are in defilade. Depending on the height of the rounds over the berm, you're obviously going to get different noises. 9mm at this range is going subsonic, which is why we could hear the buzzing a little bit more. When we move to like the 45-70, you're 100% going to hear that crack as it goes overhead. Oh, it's always a good time on Grand Thumb. Okay, next up we have 45-70. We are in defilade.
So, where 45-70 comes into play in Middle Earth is when you're dealing with orcs, okay? Now, orcs I'm not worried about. I know easily I could smoke an orc with a 5.56. Now, you don't want to take down an Uruk-hai with a 5.56. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit more aggressive. I'd probably rather have that 45-70 for that Uruk-hai, is what I'm trying to say. Uruk-hai, pretty nasty creatures, right? So you want to really have your options dialed in when you're dealing with Uruk-hai. Trust me, I know, I'm a Gondorian Ranger myself. All right, guys? All right, they're in defilade, ready to go.
There you go. Copy.
Dude, I can't tell where that's coming from.
Those rounds, as they're going overhead, are creating that supersonic crack, and that's kind of unidirectional. So, especially when you're being shot at from a suppressor, which we'll hear very soon, it's very hard to directionalize precisely where those shots are coming from. Pretty fun.
Yeah, with that 4570, I know exactly what it's like to cross on the wrong part of the border. You're stepping on the wrong ranch. And
40 Mike. 40 Mike. Where's my dot? Oh, there you are.
Perfect. I want you to adjust right, bring down elevation.
Copy. Right, down. Fire.
Adjust lower, your windage is good. Adjust lower.
oh my goodness.
Crash complete. We are cold.
So 40 millimeter, it's such a slow round. It sounds so crazy. You can hear that thing just cutting the wind.
Yeah, it's fun without the explosion at the end, but can you imagine it? It sounds cute, and then it hits you. Next thing you know, you're just hanging out with Jesus, trying to explain why you were hiding behind a berm with your AK above your head.
So we just finished with our low pressure rounds. Charlie, how was it?
It was nice. It was a typical Saturday night in any...
Tacoma.
Yeah.
Tacoma. So we're going to be using some higher velocity rounds at this point. We're going to be at 500, then we're going to do them at 1,000. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to see what weapons we're using, and we're really excited to show you guys what it sounds like from the comfort of your own home.
It's cold out here.
It is cold.
I hope you're warm.
Hey, oh, actually, my God, what was that like, dude?
It's cold out here.
I knew where you were shooting from, so I was trying my absolute best to be like just sonar it.
Talking it in, I was like, oh, dude, this guy's not calling his hits. Yeah, it's my bad. Yeah,
Honestly, hey, it's a game of integrity.
Yeah.
And I failed.
Okay, so we're going to be going at 450 yards with several different weapons. After 450, we'll be going way further, probably about 700 to 1,000. So the first weapon that we're going to start with is going to be the 4570. So the 4570 will be roughly subsonic by that point, and it's going to be very interesting. Thank you. Next up, we're going to be having the 556 CAC SR15. Now we're going to be firing this both suppressed and unsuppressed. This is a 14.5. 556 is a very interesting round when it goes overhead. After that, we'll be having the 7.62 by 39 AK-103. Same round fired by the AKM/AK-47. So this is going to be very interesting. It also has a very distinctive noise. Next up, we of course have the venerable M1 Garand.
The great thing about the M1 Garand, just to throw a little tidbit out there, Mike, is it forced the Japanese to go from a warring nation to a nation of anime. So let's not do that.
Finally, we have the 50 cal from Halo.
The M1 Garand, I love the M1 Garand. It's just such a classy rifle, but so practical too. But then, that Barrett's very practical as well. They'll take down any target.
This is an anti-materiel rifle used against the Covenant. This is a Steyr HS-50 M1. Very awesome. Of course, running the Churchill-Gun ACOG, because according to Lucas, that is the best optic, and we agree? LPVOs suck! We're not saying that. Thank you.
Why'd you do it?
I wanted your channel.
Why?
I want your channel.
We're at 500 right here, and the 4570 should be subsonic. Let's go. We are ready for 5 rounds of 4570. We are in defilade. We're good.
Oh my gosh.
Round complete.
Copy.
Spookier than Halloween, dude.
That was like right over us.
Good times.
No, I don't think it was.
No, it was not at all. So
It sounded like it.
that's what's so interesting about incoming fire. So at that point, we do have a subsonic round. That tells us a lot. We can hear the low pressure report from the 4570, and you could hear that about where we are right here, it was subsonic. That tells us a lot about the caliber that we're getting shot at by. To be clear, those 4570s are big old 300 plus grain pills flying through the air.
They're the Lizzos of the caliber world.
We are ready for unsuppressed 556.
Copy, you're grabbing unsuppressed 556.
We are in defilade.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I hear the crack.
And then the
stand by.
gunshot.
Okay, so again, we can learn a lot. This round, as you can tell, was supersonic, and we heard the report after the crack. That lets us know a lot about the type of gun that we're being shot at by. We know it's some type of higher velocity round. For those of you who have been shot at, you know that this is either a 545 by 39 or a 556 in this case. Very interesting, and that was unsuppressed.
That was wild.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw the suppressor on, hear what that sounds like.
Mike and the boys can have 2 extra rounds as a snack.
Rounds complete.
Copy, thank you, stand by. Awesome. So as you can see there, the report was much less. Again, that's going to be very hard to directionalize. These guys are just out in the open. If they were in some type of cover and concealment firing, that would make it even more difficult to pinpoint where the shots are coming from. We are ready for a 7.62 by 39.
We gotta up the odds.
Firing.
So a much different
Round
sound.
complete.
Thank you, stand by. And the reason is that the round from the 7.
This is actually very educational. I actually really like this test. Kind of want to recreate it, maybe later in life. It's a really cool test. I mean, it's not really something I've really ever put too much thought into. It's just more like, oh, a round just went overhead. That's concerning. Not really, I'm going to diagnose what kind of gun this is kind of situation. But that first test, like that whistling from the round, like that is something I'm very familiar with, and that's pucker factor.
0.62 by 39 is much heavier than the 556. That is a 123 grain slug.
It's louder.
Yep, it's louder. Yeah, the supersonic crack is louder. Now, to be clear, the 7.62 by 39 is much slower. When we get out to like 700, that bitch will start being subsonic. It's very interesting.
Ready with M1 Grand.
We are in defilade.
Firing.
That was like right.
What is that?
Oh,
Why was that so scary?
Copy, thank you. 308 is a hell of a round.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being told, hey, we're gonna charge those guys with these fucking swords. Let's go.
Dude, that actually made me like.
It made me move.
You moved.
We all did. We all went like this instinctively.
I scooted over, I was like, get Mike.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and try a 50 cal. This is from Steyr HS1. We are in defilade.
Firing 50.
Imagine dudes during World War II, just like with that ear pro firing off rounds of like the 50 cal. That shit's gnarly, dude. Come on, papa. Is he angry? Oh.
Give us 3 more.
Dude, that report.
You know when you're getting shot up by that, you're like, you hear that boom back there?
Yeah.
That's something else. Copy on your rounds complete, stand by. Yeah, so you can tell that 50 has a louder crack, but really the supersonic crack isn't a whole lot different. It's going to be interesting as we step out. Now the 50 carries supersonic for quite a while, so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and we're going to step back even further to about 1,000 and hear all those same rounds over again.
Copy, just played. Copy 4570. Byron.
Nah, it's not making it.
There it is.
You heard it?
5 more. I heard 2.
That's a slow.
Copy, thank you. Get set up on the 5.56 unsuppressed M16.
I'm the problem, it's me. And I don't know the rest of any Taylor Swift songs, but I do love Taylor Swift. I figured we'd up the ammo allotment for some of these different calibers. The 5 is a little bit too boring for, you know, a 5.56. Like, we gotta, let's give it to him, you know? Shake it off, I stay out too late.
We are in defilade.
Byron.
Ooh.
5.56 has still got it, and what's crazy about it, once again, is it's such a small round.
It made my pooter pucker. Oh, man.
That you can just, they're so tiny and they have such a distinctive noise. 5.56 really is a wild caliber, man, when you think about it. Hit us with the suppress.
Byron.
Ooh.
Thank you. So that was a 14.5. You could see that it still had quite a bit of ass. 14.5 to 20. Obviously the 20 is going to have the most velocity, but 5.56 rounds, they make a different noise, that's for sure. Get prepped with 7.62 by 39.
Rounds complete.
Were those tumbling?
They're certainly getting unstable at this position.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Travis?
That I have a unique job.
M1 Garand.
M1 Garand. City M1 Garand.
We are in defilade. Still supersonic.
That is still pure hate.
Yeah.
Copy, thank you. We are prepped and ready for 50 cal.
Firing 50 cal.
So Grantham recently bought this huge, beautiful ranch. I love the idea of like this hardworking family that was scraping by to earn and meats, and now it's like taken over by all these meme gun meme shit lords. I love the internet. Oh geez, I hope I don't turn into Scott from Kentucky Ballistics. Yeah, if I'm gonna be.
If you don't know what he's talking about, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this channel, you know what happened to Scott from Kentucky Ballistics. He was testing some sketchy slap rounds he bought on the internet, and they were sketchy as hell, and it blew up his 50 cal and sent him to the hospital. Thank God he's okay though.
Be completely honest with you guys. I'm happy to be the one doing the shooting. I've done this test before on my own channel, and I will say it's not as extravagant as this one because he has a literal Garand Ram Ranch. But you know, I tried it and it was fun. But being shot at's not like, you know, it can wake you up, but it's not the most fun. You know what's really fun though? Is having a good time with friends. That's the most fun. Maybe the real ballistic test with the friends we made along the way.
Copy, thank you. We are going range cold, range cold, range cold.
Yeah, you
Range call.
go
You are having a full discussion with Mountain Dew Jesus before you hear the shot.
So Mike, as a shooter, I didn't get to hear the rounds cracking overhead. Why don't you go ahead and tell your own audience what it sounded like?
Of course, a lot of interesting notes to take. Obviously, depending on the speed of the round, you'd hear the supersonic crack. Otherwise, you'd hear a lot of the whiz of the round cutting through the air.
Yeah.
You can also tell a lot about the speed, the size of the projectile based on the report. A lot of good things to take away from this. A lot of things you can learn about the shooters taking shots at you based on the distance they are from you. These are all important things to know for LARPing,
Now,
of course.
So with you being on that receiving end, do you now feel like you have a more personal connection with JFK?
So guys, thank you for joining us for this video. We hope you got a lot of really good information, you had a good time, and more importantly, you learned something and you had fun. Maybe the real test of the rounds flying overhead was the friends we made along the way. But gentlemen, ladies, make sure that you get out there and you get training. Training is what's going to matter. You don't have to have your buddies take pot shots over your head out at berms, but what you should be doing is practicing with your rifles, practicing small unit tactics, and getting good with that type of stuff. Where can we get training?
Anywhere. Cogworks, Pat McNamara.
Close enough. Onward Research, of
Onward
course.
Research.
Very soon. True, it has been proven to be that.
Scientifically
Turn to
speaking.
Christ and repent.
God wills it.
And then after that, just turn to my stupid face.
Canada.
You know, I gotta say that video was pretty educational, pretty helpful. You know what? Like, subscribe. Go check out Grand Thumb's channel. He does pretty cool stuff. Check it out. You know, I had to redo 4 videos today because, or I'm in the process of doing that right now. But I had to redo 4 videos because, for some stupid reason, I don't know. This is my microphone right here. You see it going up and down. But it was, for some reason, it was all the way down. I left it all the way down. My bad. Oops. Don't do that. So I did 4 videos. Like, oh, I'm excited. I'm done. It's like 1 a.m. right now. It's 1 a.m. No. Oh, God. So, you know, like, subscribe, because I'm working hard for these videos and working hard on these videos. And stay tuned. Watch the next one.